Floyd House Flicks. Welcome to Blacks in Cinema Sundays. And check it out. What we're doing here is we're doing it mobile. We're doing Blacks in Cinema Sunday today. We're doing it mobile. We're doing it from the car. So I'm going to hope and pray that the internet universe is with me strongly today, because I have some things that I would love to talk about our feet. And it was an amazing film, an amazing conversation regarding solidarity. I do understand that there are, this is a movie. So, of course, there's plots and there's, but the plot always thickens when it comes to cinema. But there's a bigger picture, always a bigger picture. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Letitia Wright. Let's talk about Lupita Nyong'o. Let's talk about Angela Bassett. What's his name? Winston Duke. We could call out all the names. Introducing, I can't remember the brother that played Namor, or I know I'm speaking his misname, but I can't remember his name. But in my opinion, the movie was well done. The movie was very respectful to Chadwick Boseman and his legacy. I'm not going to put out any spoilers for the film, because I think that would be a disservice. The film just came out, and I hate spoilers, so I'm not going to speak to that. But what I will speak to is, there's an old saying: if you take 100 red ants and mix them in a jar with 100 black ants, the ants can live in peace. But once you shake the jar, the ants begin to fight and they begin to kill each other. The moral of the story is, do not be angered at the black ant or the red ant. Be angered at the hand that shakes the jar. Black Panther is that conversation. Black Panther has conversations of relationship. Black Panther has conversations of empathy. Regarding our relationships as black people, in living with people who are positioned, I won't say positioned, they are placed in front of us as an enemy, as we are placed in front of them as an enemy. It's the agitators that cause this. And it's something that needs to be re-examined. Again, there was a lot of what I was afraid that there would be a lot of Me Too movement in this movie. Not that I don't want to see women win. And of course, we want to see women win all the time, just like we want to see everybody else win. We want to see women win, especially black women, for me, because of the portrayal historically that they have put out for our people. This is one of the reasons I do Blacks in Cinema Sundays, because of the portrayals that have been introduced to us and that are provided to us for examples of who we are. And I always find that to be troublesome, because I know that we are more than these films portray us as. There was a lot of strength in this movie, but just like there was a lot of strength in the former when we were introduced to Black Panther, and Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, there were things we saw in him that we recognized in us. They gave us a feeling of joy. Gave us a feeling of this is magnificent. This is how we want to see each other. Although Wakanda is a fictional country, you see how historically countries like Africa and other countries of resource are constantly raped and ripped of their resources by people who don't feel that these people should have them. The people who have been born on the soil where these resources are plentiful, they feel like you shouldn't have them. You're not worthy of them. I'm going to take them from you. So the whole conversation, as it was in Black Panther 1, no spoilers, I'm doing my best, is to say vibranium is not for all's consumption, because everyone does not have good intentions. A lot of people have bad intentions for powerful situations. Sadly enough, these are things that we encounter. Anything that you can get that's going to be giving you the advantage you want. We're talking humanity. Living along with one another as human beings, as one race. The human race. Human beings. No one man is better than another. No one man should make another feel inferior. No one man should try to run and take something from someone else just for the sake of having it. So that is a conversation in real life as well as in these days portrayed cinematically. And this is why movies like Black Panther and movies like Wakanda Forever are important. They are important. And they do speak to emotions, and they do speak to human feelings, but sometimes things happen to you and you get mad and you react angrily. It's human to do so. It's human to do so. If you recall, Killmonger, a lot of people felt and feel that Killmonger was not wrong for what his intentions were. A lot of people feel that Killmonger was legitimately angry and his cause was something that a lot of folks stood behind, because it's been happening for centuries. Rape, pillaging, theft, misappropriation, all these words that describe history and the perpetrator of those such words are always directed in the same place. And it is what it is. But that doesn't mean, and I'm not saying to people that are not African American or people that are not of Hispanic descent or any place that's been robbed of their culture or robbed of their resources needs to bear ill will toward anyone else or the people that have been accused of doing such crimes as in their heritage. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is the change begins through conversation, and the change begins through empathy, compassion. Those are the factors of change. I was watching something the other day, and one of the characters they were talking about the Hawaiians, how the Hawaiian Islands were also just taken over. Now, this was just for this film. So one of the white characters says, oh, so I guess we should just feel guilty for the rest of our lives. Or we should, and no one's asking you for your guilt. In fact, I think it's a white person's guilt is what causes them to act the way that they act. It's kind of like when you're, people do something wrong and then they try to get mad at you for being mad at them. That's guilt. And we're not asking you for your guilt. We're not asking for that. We're asking for a conversation moving forward into change. That's what we're asking for. And certain conversations, while we can have them, should be had. Because at some point, as it's said by my brother Willie D, no more talk. We had the moment to talk. And you didn't want it. So now we have nothing to talk about. So moving forward, let us have these conversations that make you uncomfortable. To the ones that I'm speaking to the people that the term that's used in Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. Let's have a conversation with these colonizers. There's always room for conversation. There's always room for conversation. We're moving forward. And how do you affect change but through conversation? There is no other way. There is another way. But it's not the way to reap our desired results. So let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what it would take, or how it would take, or what type of a change it would take for us to be all right with everything that's been done to us for the past 500 years. Let's talk about that. I'm looking at the conversation that Kanye is having with the media regarding what he says are the perpetrators of people that have hurt his people. His people, what he's speaking to his people, primarily, he's talking about the music industry. That's what he's talking about. So when he spoke to that, all he did was say something. He didn't hurt anyone. He didn't do anything wrong in terms of physical hurt. Someone was going to be injured physically by what he said. Now that wasn't it. That wasn't it. But that's the conversation. That's how the conversation was handled. The conversation was handled as if he physically went to injure someone, destroy them. It's just a conversation about what is. And we are told as African Americans, when people discuss slavery, that was a long time ago, man. That was a long time ago. You need to get over. Y'all need to get over that. Y'all need to move past that. You know the sad part about it is? How the hell are we supposed to move past it if nothing is changing? The part that I'm trying to understand. How do we move past that when we have not been able to move past that? It's not been addressed. You can't move past something. How would you feel as if you have a conversation for someone, you try to have that conversation for them, and they tell you to get over it? Could you imagine what it would be like, especially in the Jewish community after the Holocaust, if someone said to them, you guys need to get over that. That was ages ago. Do you know what would happen? It's a wrap. It is a wrap. Nothing moves forward. Nothing. So, yeah, that's the part that I'm not receiving when it comes to communications with people who are dealing with their own guilt. And for them to move forward and away from their own guilt, they tell us as African Americans to move away from it, which is like conversations about reparations and all types of stuff like that. Get over it. Why should we today pay you because of a conversation that happened 400 or 500 years ago? Why should we pay you? Well, a lot of people that have received injury at the hands of oppression have been paid. Native Americans got paid. The Japanese got paid. Let's be honest, the Jewish people are still getting paid. We have yet to get paid. We got Juneteenth. We got Black History Month. We got The Shaft. Is what we got. I say all of this to say that the movie Wakanda Forever has a conversation of solidarity that will bring about the change that needs to happen. There's a language in that movie that speaks to that specifically. When you're looking at the Mayans, how the Aztecs were destroyed, eradicated. They don't exist anymore in that respect. The Mayans. There are elements of people that have been able to keep that lineage strong. But for all intents and purposes, they're gone. And this is something that has never been resolved or ever been addressed. And all perpetrated by the same people. We can have this conversation. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard to have. The only time it becomes hard to have is when the people that are connected to the benefit of that conversation don't want to talk about it. I don't have anything to talk about. We have nothing to discuss. I don't feel guilty about anything. I didn't do anything wrong. Yet you reap the benefit of the wrong that was done. Let's keep it a buck. We have to be able to have conversations like this. This is not a conversation of pointing fingers, and this is not a conversation of guilt. I keep stressing that because that is the language that I receive when this conversation is had with other people. So if we cannot have these types of dialogues, like the one that was had, again, when I watched this movie today, it was a conversation between characters that spoke to, you know, let's do this to affect change. Let's do that. Let's have a conversation about making something different. Let's do that. There's never change unless you have those types of conversations. Are they hard conversations? Yeah. I don't know what conversation is hard. The only conversations that are hard are conversations that you don't have. The only conversations that are hard are conversations that you don't have the integrity, or what some people call the testicular fortitude, or the ovarian fortitude in any case, to have. A lot of people are afraid to have certain conversations that might make them uncomfortable. Sometimes discomfort will bring you to change so much faster. It's okay. It's okay. When I look at us as black people in cinema and the portrayals, even to this day, when you watch movies like The Butler and 12 Years a Slave, and movies like that, it's always so subservient. You're strong at home. You're a strong man at home, or you're a strong woman in the house. When you go outside, your feet start sliding and shit starts going in a different direction. You disenfranchise yourself. You disempower yourself. That's what I see. That's what I've witnessed in these types of films. So when I see films portraying what's deemed as minorities with strength, integrity, empathy, compassion, when I see characters portraying that sort of just I don't know how to describe it. I get so moved by it. And I don't see how anyone else couldn't. Because this is what helps to heal the world, when you're not trying to steal everything from everybody, and you just look at things from a place of care and concern, and it changes the world. Until that point, we'll still be living in a place of war. We'll still be living in a place of inequity. We'll still be living in a place of hate. And anyone that says there is no hate are the ones that are in control. If you're in control, you have the reason to hate. If you have the reason to be fearful. But quite often, this is what we deal with when this conversation comes up. There is no problem. What's the problem? There is no problem. You have a problem because there is no problem. No, there is a problem. So we're going to talk about it. And I think that without putting out any further, I don't think I put out any spoilers about Wakanda Forever, and I hope I didn't. But if I did, I apologize. Wakanda Forever was a very strong film. I believe that anyone and everyone should be in that theater watching this movie. This is the first time in a long time that I've seen First time in a long time that I've seen a film this close to release day. I usually don't even go to the movies this soon. But Wakanda Forever, brilliant film. Brilliant casting. It was, I could probably say there's one character, maybe two, but I know it's for continuity and storyline. Served no purpose. Served no purpose. And when you go to the movies, you'll see it serves no purpose. It's one of those implanted individuals that is like kind of like if it wasn't for them, this couldn't have happened kind of thing. It's that conversation. Serve no purpose. So outside of that, I think the movie was brilliantly done. Ryan Coogler, again, winner. And that's all I can say. That's all I can say. I have nothing negative to say about that. Nothing negative to say about that movie. All right, y'all. This was a puncher. This conversation was a puncher. These conversations are for everyone. They're for everyone. Because these conversations come from love. These conversations come from all good energy. Trust me when I say all good energy. Only one place. Good energy. Nothing poor, nothing ill-willed. All good energy. So anyone that watches this video that may have an opinion about it, I'm open to conversation. Please leave me a comment. I hope the video played well because I am in the foothills and you know how my internet is janky But I hope it did well. And thank you so much for riding me on this Blacks in Cinema Sunday. I'll be back next week with another banger from Blacks in Cinema Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to watch, but when I do, you'll be the first to know. All right, guys, take care. Always from love. Floyd House Flicks, Blacks in Cinema Sunday is a wrap. I will see you next weekend. Salute. God bless. Peace.